It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Good morning, 9:45 on this beautiful Wednesday. And a chance to catch up with our friends from New Village Institute. We simply know them as NVI. In their campus just outside of Blairsville. In the studio with me this morning, Chris Barton, campus director. And the director of student services, Stephanie Gonter, is with us as well. Conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. It's such a beautiful day. Did you walk here?
We could have.
It was nice enough to walk.
Yeah. It might be a little bit of a journey for just a walk.
A little bit.
Well, good morning to both of you. How are you?
Great.
It's great to have you back in the studios with us here this morning. When we talked last time, it was, Chris, just after you had opened up, and you had a pretty good cohort going right then. I'm assuming things are just booming there now.
Not yet to booming, but we are growing. We were working on growing for sure. We've still got all the students that we started in January, so that's a good thing. And we've got another start coming up on April 1st, and we're looking to, potentially triple or so, the size of the population for the April start. And then, of course, heading into summer when the high schools graduate, hope to just keep growing the campus.
Now, that'll be the interesting time, I think. Well, not that this isn't interesting and that April's class isn't really, really important to you.
Right.
But when summer graduation comes and kids are getting out of school, and particularly I think of the kids at ICTC and some of the other technical schools, I would guess they're going to be flocking to your facility.
We hope so.
Yep, that is the plan. We are still out there. Even today, we're doing a couple high school visits and things like that, just making sure everybody in a 50 to 100 mile radius has at least heard of us and knows that we're an option. And historically, for schools like ours, the summers are always the good starts with the students, coming right out of high school and looking to get started on their career.
Absolutely. Of course, Stephanie, you directly involve yourself in student affairs in order to make sure that everything is in place for them. When Chris says that you get out to the schools and you visit them, are they individual school visits? Are they events where there are fairs of some sort?
A little bit of both.
A little both?
Yeah, we've done several high school fairs, career fairs, where we've been able to go out, have a booth, and talk to students as they come through. And in other instances, we're doing in-class presentations as well, and talking to students, more of like a class size, putting on presentations and things like that. So.
And I'm sure that when you go to these events and you speak to students, you have some students that are like they know. This is what they want to do. You get other students who are curious about whether or not this is what they want to do. And you have to find a way to speak to both of them. I guess that one that's really sure, that's an easier recruit than the one who is a little bit doubtful but really curious.
Yeah, and to your point, you got those two, and then you've got the folks who have never even considered that a career in the diesel industry or automotive industry might be a good career path. And sometimes, once they hear how great the opportunities are, see that, hey, this school's right here in my backyard. It's only 6 months and I can be out making money. It kind of opens their eyes to something that they hadn't considered before we had a chance to talk to them. So that's why try to get out, just talk to as many people. We invite schools to bring, field trips or just come by, after school for tours so they can see the facility. So again, just trying to get the word out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, okay. So we're talking about school students who are currently in their schools. And I want to talk about those who might take a different course in order to get to you. I want to do that in a second. But first, I think we ought to introduce what NVI is to folks who don't know, because you're still relatively new to the area.
Right. We are an automotive and diesel training school. We train entry-level technicians, so you can come to us with zero experience, never having touched a wrench or a screwdriver or anything in your life, and we will take it and build a skill set that allows you to then go start your career. But then also we get students who have grown up working with their dads, grandpas, whatever, in shops, and so they come in a little ahead of the game, so we can kind of tweak the curriculum and give them a little extra to do to make sure they're getting their money's worth as well and advancing their skills beyond where they're already at.
And it's not as if this is a field that is stagnant. This is a field that's really growing, isn't it?
It definitely is. Yep. It definitely is. There is a definite need in the industry right now for technicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the demand, like, even if the industry itself wasn't growing, which it is, just the fact, even if the industry was staying the same size, the workforce is leaving, retiring, aging out.
Sure.
So it's creating, large gaps, that employers are struggling to fill. So, yeah, there's huge demand. Yeah, I mean, desperate in some cases with some of these employers that, their business survival depends on having technicians to, be able to bring money in.
And Chris, you made a good point earlier in the fact that it's not long before you enter the school for the first time, then you're turning around and you're out of there and you're into the job setting.
Yeah. I mean, we just, 6 months goes by quick. Our graduate or our students that started in January, we're already, they're getting close to halfway done, with their schooling now. And so we're already, all right, we got to start working on the interview process and figuring out where you want to go to work, what type of company you want to work for. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like we were just here and just getting started in January, but it's time to start, thinking about graduation and, getting careers started.
Yeah, and one of the interesting dynamics to me is the fact that you're in the business of putting these graduates out there into the field. But in order for them to get there, to get the job, the company that is going to hire them, whether it's a garage or a dealership or whoever it might be, they have to be really confident that they're getting a really good qualified worker. Which is that's where your responsibility lies, and that's what you're doing. You're kicking them out of there.
Yeah. We treat our employers as much of our customer as being our customer as we do our students, because ultimately, that's who we're there to serve, is the employer who needs that technician and needs to know that if I hire this person, he's coming in with a basic skill set. So that's one of the things that we're doing is, one of the reasons we shortened to a 6-month program from what a lot of other schools are doing is to be able to focus on those core skills that employers are telling us this is what we need an entry-level mechanic to be able to do, and then we can take it from there and expand his skill set. But yeah, that entry-level skill set.
On top of that, we're focusing on equipping our students with life skills while they're there. Everything from budgeting to communication, all of the things that makes a good employee.
Showing up on time is a good part.
It's a
good
big
starting
one.
point, isn't it?
It's a big one. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of that reflects back on you as a school. It adds to the value of the education that you're providing. They know that when they see an NVI graduate coming in, they got somebody who's on top of the game.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons we do the 6-month program, or one of the reasons we can do the 6-month program is because our students are there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, which mimics, a typical work day. So our employers at least know that, hey, this guy can show up every day, 5 days a week, work 8 hours a day, and at least I don't have to worry about that,
Yeah. All right, I want to talk about that non-traditional student or that different course that someone might take to get to NVI. But first, I want to get this out there because folks need to know. Got a big event coming up this weekend.
We do. We do. It's our first open house this Saturday. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So
yeah, we have I think close to 30 vendors. We're using it as an open house to display the school, introduce people to the school, but also to help bring the community together, because that's one of the things we're big on, is the school being involved in the community and the community being involved in the school. So we've given vendor tables to anybody who wants one free of charge. And so again, we've got close to 30 vendors. I think we've got 4 or 5 different food trucks or vendors that are coming in. We've got the local police, fire, EMS coming in. I want to doing a ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce, and one of our representatives, Jim Struzzi, is going to be there. So yeah, a lot of different things going on at the open house other than just showing off the school as an open house.
But for those folks in the town that maybe they're not going to be a candidate to become a student, but maybe one day somebody that they know will ask about it, it's a good chance for them to see, well, what are you? Who are you? And what are you doing there?
Yes.
At that beautiful campus.
I think that's our biggest motivation, is just come see what we're doing.
Yeah.
Come and enjoy what we're doing here and trying to bring to Blairsville as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so all of that being the case, and I talked about this a couple of times, said we would get to it. I want to right now. We talked about high school students and maybe even some college students who are maybe considering a career in auto mechanics and diesel mechanics, and how NVI can help them. What about that person who has been working for 10 or 15 years in some other industry and just not happy, sees an opportunity, but doesn't know where to take it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I'd say roughly half of the students we have right now are in a similar situation to that. They're, a little bit older than your traditional, high school graduate, college age student, have kids, families, but they recognize that they wanted to start fresh. They learned about our program, and I think the 6-month piece is important to someone like that who is having to step away from their everyday life and job and income to try to retrain themselves. So yeah, we open our doors to those folks. We will work with them to try to figure out how to make it work, because it is a challenge to step away from normal life to come to school for 6 months, but it can be done. And I think the long-term benefits are there, just with how good the industry is and how many great job opportunities are out there.
And in particular, somebody who might have lost a job or been laid off from a job, those folks, they can press a reset button on their life.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Like this.
Absolutely.
Terrific. All right. Now, Stephanie, you've told us this morning about some of the life skills that people get taught when they come to NVI. It's not just about getting under the hood. Or under the truck.
Yes.
But there are certain life skills that employers are looking for. I know Mark Hilliard at the Chamber of Commerce calls them soft skills, and that's a great word in the industry. But those soft skills are really, really important to making yourself valuable.
Yes, they are very important, and it's one of our biggest motivators at the school. Is we talk to the employers, and we developed our curriculum around what the employers were looking for, but their main need was a well-rounded employee who was going to show up every day, who was going to be able to communicate with customers, who was going to be able to communicate with them as a team, with their coworkers. So being able to incorporate those life skills in their education with NVI, it's not just about graduating a student or graduating someone who's going to become an entry-level technician. It's about graduating and equipping a student to become a good employee for these employers.
Right off the westbound lanes on Route 22, just outside of Blairsville, NVI Institute. Open house is coming up this Saturday from what time to what time?
10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And anybody can come.
Anybody. Come on out.
Beautiful. Chris Barton, Stephanie Gonter, thanks so much for coming in to visit with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you
for having us.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.